All right, hello. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about robot. So we talked already about the robot basics, and so try to give some tips about getting your basic robot more solid, and then moving on towards more advanced and robot styles. So for the robot basics, you think with a basic robot, we really need to have like locked in position poses with a good isolation. So if you do the bend especially, the most important thing is to make sure that the distance between all your body parts stays the same as you bend down. So it looks like everything is in the same position when you go down. Whatever you decide, it could be any pose. So even if you're in a different pose and you bend down, you still have that same pose, right? So
not like this, right?
yeah, exactly. So like a lot of people, I think when they get started with the robot, the human naturally will like kind of curve down when you go down with your head and everything. So they'll kind of go like this. But as soon as you start bending down, you lose the robotic feeling, because the basic robot, kind of just a hunk of metal, and it can't move like that. It's only locked in place.
Right.
So that's like a tip. And when you kind of think of that same idea, you can think about it in all different pieces and parts of your body, right? Always have the locked position. Second advice is we get very excited and we want to move all our parts at once. Do like everything all at once, right? But but the thing is, when you do a lot of things at once with the robot, every part actually has the control already. So if you try to do it too early, your quality will go down if you try to do too much at the same time. That's why it's really important to focus on just moving one isolation at a time. And it could even be a rotation, it could be a different joint, your head, torso. It could be anything, it could be your wrists, but only focus on that one thing at a time.
Even move quick, still one by one, right?
Yeah, and it's really important, because even when you feel comfortable with that, and now you start moving, maybe like two things at the same time, or maybe your head and your arm, you can go back and forth between moving two things and moving one thing, and that creates a much more dynamic robot. So that's sort of like some of the tips to kind of really focus on getting your basic robot set up. And then we can start talking about robot styles, right? So robot actually is a very wide and big style you can really explore and basically make your own robots. So you for each robot, you have a set of rules, basically. This is just a basic way of thinking about it. And the rules are basically how that robot moves. Is it light? Is it heavy? How advanced is it? Basic robot has the basic programming, so it can only maybe move one arm at a time. Maybe it doesn't have the advanced joint, so it can't move its fingers. It's locked in place. The advanced robot, you can imagine, might be able to move more things at once.
Like Android.
Right, like an android, a humanoid.
Like a Sony robot.
Yep. There's also like animatronics. If you look at,
oh yeah, that one moves so many at the same time.
Yeah, they're really crazy. You could look up the ones at Disney or Chuck E. Cheese. And you also teach a lot of the junkyard versus mannequin, different kind of styles. And it comes down to your imagination of what they are, and just what are your rules. So remember the basic robot, just one joint at a time, lock positions and whatnot, and then we could start changing those rules a little bit. You could change their dime stops, use a different dime stop that Tabo taught you, and you can create a different feeling for the robot.
Right. Like a small stop.
Yep.
Like a big stop.
Yep.
A way to shake.
And this looks heavy, right? Maybe like a industrial robot or something.
That's a junkyard robot. Right?
Junkyard, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Yep.
good.
Yeah, cool.
Hi.